Alright, what's going on, Forgotten Nation? I'm your host, FG, and today we're playing Pac-Man Championship Edition for the Xbox 360 arcade. Released in 2007, this is actually the last game developed by the original creator of Pac-Man, Toru Iwatani, who would later retire after this game from Namco and the video game industry as a whole. In some ways, it's actually pretty fitting that this is the last game he developed, because many consider it, including myself, a return to form for the Pac-Man series. What I mean by that? Well, we'll explain with the gameplay. So, without any further ado, we're going to be playing Championship Mode. So, let's get to it. We got 5 minutes to rack up a high score, so let's see what happens. Now, just like the original Pac-Man, the gameplay is still relatively intact. You have to gobble at the pellets, eat the ghost, and try to clear each maze as it comes along. Now, let's talk about the Championship Edition, because there actually is quite a difference between the original and this. You see, with the Championship Edition, not only are you racing against the clock for a high score, but the game itself is relatively different speaking. So, in order to progress forward, you have to clear each side of the maze by eating all the pellets. When you complete each side, a fruit will spawn. When you eat the fruit will spawn in the next part of the maze. So, essentially, not only are you racing against the clock, but you're trying to complete the maze as fast as you can to get to the next fruit. Because just like the original Pac-Man, every fruit is worth more points as you go on. So the only way to get the higher score is to progress forward as fast as you can. However, that's not the only way to get a high score, because you also need to focus on gobbling the ghost. And I believe this did pertain in the original, but here there's a bigger emphasis on trying to combo the ghost. And I don't mean just eating 4 at a time. Once you eat 4, you have to hurry up and get to the next pellet in order to keep the chain going. Because if you keep the chain going, that means more points overall. Most importantly though, do not die. If you die, you will lose less points, or earn more points, I should say, for every pellet you gobble up. See, right now I'm actually gobbling 50 points per pellet, but if I lose a life, it'll go back to 10. So, you want to hurry up and complete the stages as fast as you can, try not to die, and eat the ghost. And don't do what I just did. Alright. Keep it going, though. We're doing fine. So, as the gameplay continues, the ghosts are going to get more and more aggressive, just like the original game. But it's also going to start to speed up faster and faster, to a point where this game is going pretty fast that Pac-Man himself is actually sparking up the stage. You can see with every turn, you actually see little sparks flying off of him. And I must imagine it's probably painful for a guy that's a yellow blob. I'm just like picturing him just like rubbing his skin off the maze itself. It sounds like a painful experience. But we're going to keep the points going. So it's worth mentioning that this game had a huge emphasis on the online leaderboards. Because of its score system, many were competing for the #1 spot on the leaderboards. And if I'm recalling correctly, some of the top spots were actually invited a year later to an actual world championship to deem who was the best Pac-Man player in the world. And if I recall correctly, I believe it was someone from Mexico that won. He actually got a custom Xbox and everything. It was an event to see. It was cool. But anyways, the ghosts are becoming more and more aggressive, so we do need to be careful. Now, just like the original Pac-Man, all the fruits are here, but there's also some new fruits as well, such as a banana, there's a cup of coffee, there's even a new boss, Galaxian, from Galaga. Whereas the original was from Galaxian. Yeah, like right here. So there is quite a bit of new stuff to this game besides what we already see. Though my favorite part of the game, besides the music playing in the background, is the neon design of the game itself. I love how, although it's still got that blue look from the original Pac-Man, instead of it being just basically port forward, it's got this sweet neon design with the huge like wave going on the borders. It just adds such a style and a flair to the game that makes it so unique compared to other games in the series. It is really cool. Alright, so we got almost a minute left and I'm not doing too hot right now. Not looking too good. So let's get the... watch out for Blinky. Get the bell. We're going to try to combo right here. There we go. Let them stock in there. And get the next pellet. There we go. That's how you get a high score. Come on. Okay, we're still going. The highest you can get for the ghost is 3,200, but that is still a high score. Or at least a high point value. Alright, so let's keep going. No. Alright, let's keep going. We got 42 seconds left. No worries. As long as we're watching out for the ghost. Ah, come on! Cornered! Alright, keep it going. We got 30 seconds left. No! Alright. It's not too late. It is not too late. Oh, come on, Pinky! Alright. 15 seconds left. Let's go. Let's go. Here we go. 10 seconds left. Can we get the bell? We got the bell. And the key. Got the wonder key. Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3. Whoa! Alright. Final score, 155,630. Not bad for a first run, but it could definitely be better. So, we're going to play it one more time. And let's see if we get a higher score than what we got before. And maybe beat my high score. Alright, so let's go back into it. 3, 2, 1, go. So as I mentioned, that the fruits always spawn in the next part of the maze. Now here's some other things worth mentioning. The fruit that spawns will always be on the opposite side of the maze. So once you clear a maze side, you gotta try to get to the other side as fast as you can. Another thing worth mentioning is that every fruit has a preset pattern. So essentially this playthrough is basically the exact same as the playthrough before. So we're going to see the same maze patterns with each fruit that I grab. The only thing that's different is how I take on the maze itself, because Ghost AI is never the same. In some ways it is predictable, but it's also unpredictable. So for what this could either be a better game or a worse game. Hopefully better. Hopefully better. Alright. Let's try to focus on eating the ghosts as we continue on. So as I mentioned in the intro, this was actually one of the best games in years in the Pac-Man series. I should explain it a little more. See, in the 90s and early 2000s, there had been many attempts to reboot the maze mode of the original Pac-Man gameplay. However, through their attempts, not all of them were exactly as iconic as the Championship Edition. Some notable ones include the Pac-Man World Series Maze Unlockable mode, or even Pac-Man Adventures in Time, or even Pac-Man Arrangement, a game that had actually come out a year before this. And no, I do not mean the arcade version. There is actually another Pac-Man Arrangement that keeps being released as a compilation port. I miss the arcade version better. But yeah, those versions, although they're not bad, they never really caught on in the same vein as this one, or even the original Pac-Man. And so for a time, there was a bit of slum in the Pac-Man series, to a point where they mostly focused on new ideas and party games, as opposed to the original maze gameplay. And for what it wasn't bad. I mean, we did get Pac-Man World, and that game's great. But then there was also some missed titles, such as Pac-N-Roll, Pac-Pix. It was a slow time for the Pac-Man series. But then here we are with the Pac-Man Championship Edition, and a new era of Pac-Man that is heavily emphasized by high speeds and going for high scores. And thanks to the Xbox Live's online leaderboards, it gave people a reason to compete for this game and go for the top spots. Everyone wanted a piece of the action to prove they were the best of the best. And in some ways, this still does pertain true even today, especially when you're going for like the records or like speedrunning and stuff. To be immobilized into some sort of Hall of Fame for having a high record or a high time, I can imagine it's anyone's dream for their favorite video game. And those that are fortunate to even get there, it's no easy feat. It is no easy feat. Especially the original Pac-Man, over 256 levels of the same thing getting harder and harder. But anyways, let's keep going. We got a minute and 48 seconds left. Things are starting to get a little more advanced. Picking up the speed, definitely, but we gotta watch out for Blinky. So, just like the original Pac-Man, the ghosts do have their preset patterns. Blinky will always try to follow you, Pinky will try to ambush you any chance she gets, Inky is basically just the ghost doing whatever he wants, and Clyde is an idiot. No sugarcoating that. Alright, keep going. Doing good. Can we get more? We're getting more points. Wait for it. I did too soon. Alright, here we go. We're slowly approaching the 1 minute mark, and there's a chance for a higher score. Okay, just watch. Oh, Clyde! Alright, keep going. Alright, minute left. Now, with this game, there is no other designs for the maze or Pac-Man. Later games would allow you to change the designs, fit something more like the neon with the stage itself, but here, Pac-Man is always locked into his, I call it the neon sprites, because it's based on his 8-bit appearance, but it's got this white outline to it. And I think it's pretty cool, but some people may not like it, and for that, there was other games in the Championship series that actually featured different looks. Actually, you could even unlock skins based on Galaga and Dig Dug that were pretty cool. Alright, but we got 20 seconds left, so let's keep going. We're gonna grab that key over there. Keys are usually worth the most points in the original Pac-Man. See, in this game, the highest point value is the crown. And the crown is actually a new fruit that they added to the game. There are some fruits that are from this Pac-Man, but there's even some unique ones here too, such as a cup of coffee. But 3, 2, oh, get the... Oh, I wanted that ghost so bad. Final score was 154,910, which I believe is better than the last attempt. So, overall, I would say that went pretty well. So, we get to see the results, of course. It's based on every second of the game with intervals of 30. So, pretty good. It's no world record, but it is pretty good. But anyways, Pac-Man Championship Edition. Overall, it's a great game. Compared to the other ones in the series, does it age well? Yes and no. Though there are some aspects that probably haven't aged well today with Pac-Man Championship Edition, the core gameplay is still there, and I do enjoy it because of its simplicity, something that later games in the Championship series would kind of decay, because if there's one thing I don't like about the new games in the Championship series, it's probably the Ghost Train. I'll explain that at a later time, but I really don't like the Ghost Train. But for what it is, I still consider Pac-Man Championship Edition my favorite in the series, and overall one of my favorite games of all time. So for what it is, this has been Pac-Man Championship Edition, and that's going to do it for today's video. So if you guys like it, be sure to leave a like or even comment below, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. And Toru Iwatani, he was an important figure in the video game industry. The creation of Pac-Man will always be hailed as one of the most successful coin-op arcade games of all time. And if he ever comes back to video games, I think the next game he ever made could have been great. But I hope he's enjoying his retirement. Best to you, Iwatani. Best to you.